Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into today's video. We're going to have a look at the weather for 10-14 days for today's video. Day 10 will take us 25th of November, and we'll be able to extend out beyond that with a set of GFS and ECM ensembles, maybe on a couple of weeks. We'll have a look at the CFS V2 for December at the end of the video, and I shall get on that for you in a moment. Also, we're going to be primarily focusing on next week's cold and snow risks as well, though, so more about that a little bit later on. Just say that first video it says our 6 AM UK weather forecast, and we've also, if that wasn't enough, released Jeremy Friday as well. I think it'll be live with the pub run at 10:30. I'll confirm that on the socials a little bit later on, but I don't see why we shouldn't be good to go for pub run live tonight. So that could get a little bit crazy, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. We're going to begin, though, with Tropical Storm Sara. So, just here, we've got Tropical Storm Sara giving maximum sustained winds of 50 miles per hour with a minimum set pressure of 998 millibars, moving westwards at 9 miles per hour. Clicking on Sara. When we go in here, we can see that this tropical storm is going to be affecting central parts of America. So, Honduras, Guatemala, Belize, and eventually up into Mexico, all being affected by the tropical storm, which becomes a tropical depression by the beginning of next week. I think that will probably be the end of Sara. At that point, we'll have to wait and see. But certainly bring copious amounts of rain and no doubt some very strong winds to that central portion of America there. Central temperature is currently sitting at 9.2. So, sorry, well, that is 2.7 degrees above 61 to 1990 average provisional to yesterday, to the 14th of November. So, it's going to be a milder first half to the month, but that will probably be offset, some degree anyway, by the colder second half. These were GFS, upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles next couple of weeks. Well, at Swansea today, the red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for Swansea. Starting off with above average upper air temperature at the moment, they're going to be sliding downwards, though, over the next week. So we do see the upper air temperature ticking up there, though. That's a bit of a change. That's the low pressure Monday to Tuesday, and it's warm sector. So that low pressure looks like it's going to go for a central sway of the country on the southern side of that low, brings in a warm sector, so there'll be heavy rain in the south, could be some heavy snow across parts of northern England, maybe Northern Ireland, southern Scotland, with that, more about that in a second. As the low pressure clears through, then the upper air temperatures dropping back again and staying cold then through the remainder of next week. Into the extended range, which is the last week of November, see the upper air temperature beginning to stage a little bit of a recovery, starting to lift up, although there are more GFS ensemble members now keeping things cold actually through that last week of November, so not clear cut that things are going to warm up, at least, you know, not for long anyway, through the last week of the month. And precipitation-wise, looking very unsettled for Swansea, so reasonably dry through the remainder of this weekend, through the weekend, but next week looking very, very unsettled with heavy rain, and, you know, if it's cold enough, it could be some snow, but probably won't be for Swansea. That's how Snow Row is looking for Swansea, so we do see some snow spikes there between around the 19th and the 25th of November, and particularly around the 21st to 23rd, so the second half next week, there might be some snow showers and whatnot pushing southwards on those northerly winds. How's Snow Road looking for Leicester? So there we've got two clusters of snow spikes, one around the 19th, that's the low, still coming in through the early part of next week, and then again maybe around the 21st to 25th of November, some snow spikes then. Of course, there could be some wintry showers and some snow showers in between that through the middle of next week, but Central England tends not to get those snow showers as much as like around the coast and up in the north. And my own location, Northampton, again, could be some snow around the 19th, some snow spikes then, and then again around the 23rd to 25th of November towards the last stages of next week and into the last weekend of the month. So, sorry everyone, temperature anomalies from the 15th, 23rd of November, colder than average, we've got cold and average temperatures to come, and precipitation anomalies from the 15th, 23rd of November, most areas coming out drier than normal. The latest wind from that from earthnullschool.net shows we've got low pressure away to the north and a ridge building from the west of Europe into northern and western parts of Europe. So, at the moment, we're still high and dry, but that ridge is eventually going to end up going towards Greenland and Iceland up here, and that will allow this low to move into Scandinavia, and between the two will bring down the wind from the north. That's all to come. Right, let's start going through the chart data then. This is our latest UK Met Euro run. It's looking for midnight on Monday. Low pressure through the centre of the country, holding up the onset of that northerly. So, the northerly gets into Scotland over the weekend, but doesn't get much further southwards. There's a weather system or a weather front through there marking the boundary. Still low pressure through the central country, a bit further southwards, midnight on Tuesday. Remember, it's on the northern side of the low, but we get the snow, or we have the risk of snow anyway. So that leads much of England and Wales into rain, snow, probably like southern Scotland, Northern Ireland, and particularly northern England there with that setup. And then the low pressure clears out into Germany and the Low Countries on Wednesday. Wind switch round to the north. And then off we go into an extended northerly spell. So that gets us to the end of next week. Still in those cold northerly winds, looking cold and wintry through the middle and second half next week with the UK Met. This is how Icon is looking. Again, in comes that area of low pressure midnight on Monday through the centre of the country. Rain to the south of below for much of England and Wales. Snow on the northern side of below for potentially northern England, Northern Ireland and southern parts of Scotland. Then below moves to Denmark into Wednesday. Around that... Oh, sorry, again, everyone around that, we pull down the cold northerly, and we keep wind then in from the north right way through to the end of next week. Just signs maybe by the end of next week, a little transient ridges start to build up from the southwest. We might be thinking trying to pull up some less cold air from the Atlantic then. But certainly to the end of next week, same cold. KMA has that low pressure a little bit further northwards than the other two models, heading more in towards Scotland, actually, at the beginning of next week. But anyway, it pushes out into the North Sea. Then we all go into those cold northerly winds. They stay with us then throughout next week, a proper prolonged cold northerly blast. Low pressure tries to get in from the Atlantic around the 23rd, 24th of November, but it's deflected southwards and became a deep-sea cold and wintry, actually, almost towards month's end. That gets the 27th of November. We're still cold there. The areas of low pressure still passing away to our south, and we remain under that block of cold air that's sitting across the northern and western parts of Europe. So extending the cold out into the last week of November with the KMA. What about the GFS midnight run? Bit further southwards with that area of low pressure still on the midnight run. So that means there could be snow more for sort of Ireland, Northern England, maybe North Wales and the North Midlands, and possibly even to East Anglia Monday into Tuesday. All the other models seem to have that low pressure further northwards of the GFS, but I have to say. Then we find we go back round into the north through the middle part next week, cold and wintry. Double low tries to come up from the southwest later next week, but that passes through in towards France. Might bring some snow to the extreme south of the country, but we just keep wind in to that cold northerly. And then we head on up towards day 10, and it starts to turn milder as this area of low pressure comes up from the southwest. Bit of a struggle with that, though, so I imagine there'll be some transient snowfall before it turns back to rain. Notice heights remain pretty high over Greenland and Iceland, though. And as we go further on, actually, towards the closing days of November, those areas of low pressure start to get shunted away to the east as high pressure takes over again from Greenland. So we go cold actually right at the very end of November, and those cold conditions stay with us then to the start of December. I suppose we get to the GFS day, Sunday the 1st of December, and we're looking cold there under that ridge of high pressure. Will be very frosty, and still pretty blocked actually, still blocking the progress of those areas of low pressure in the Atlantic. This is a precipitation forecast based on that GFS midnight run from Precipitation.com. So the snow showers getting into Scotland over this weekend, otherwise just rain showers. And then early next week we've got snow through Northern Ireland, northern and eastern parts of England, rain down in the south and in the southwest. The snow starts to pull southwards a little bit in towards the Midlands through the course of Monday night into Tuesday as below clears away to the east. I think the snow was going to be a bit further northwards of that, but I think the GFS is a bit too far south with that low. But you never know, it might, the models might adjust that low southwards over the next day or so. We'll see. Anyway, into the middle of next week, then we're into those northerly winds with plenty of snow showers into the north and the west. Another low trying to come up from the south. Around Thursday, that brings some heavy snow into those southern counties. And then, again, we start to turn things less cold over the weekend of the 21st, 24th of November. That involves snow initially, before it turns back to rain as the milder air comes back up from the south. So for a few days, it turns milder, but then colder weather coming back again into the last days of the month, and the showers start to turn wintry again before it turns dry under that ridge of high pressure by the beginning of December. So that's the JM8 and the GFS midnight run, extending the cold quite a bit there through the last week of the month. GFS 6 then again bring that low pressure in through Monday into Tuesday. I think it's trending in a little bit further northwards this time on the latest GFS run. Anyway, once that gets out of the way on Tuesday, we go into those cold northerly winds. Then we keep it cold throughout next week. We've got that low passing in towards France. Might bring a little snow as far south of England maybe on Thursday, but I think it'll probably go to France in the end. Another low coming up next weekend, 23rd, 24th of November, trying to introduce milder air from the Atlantic, but it doesn't really successfully do so. It's this one on the 25th of November, day 10, start to drag up that milder air from the southwest. So we do turn milder with that area of low pressure, wet and windy. However, it's not long before we go back to a block pattern again, as the jet stream and the areas of low pressure start to get pushed back south. So the GFS 6 then also turning things colder through the closing days of November and to the first day of December. A bit of a hint of a Scandinavian high trying to get going there on the 1st of December by the GFS 6 there. This is very intriguing, isn't it? Very intriguing. This is the precipitation forecast based on that GFS 6 run. Again, wintry showers into the far north over the weekend. Otherwise, it's rain showers. And then early next week, we've got snow into Northern Ireland, Northern England, North Midlands, possibly East Anglia. Rain further southwards. Again, I think it'd be a bit further northwards than that where we have the snow risk. But it's focusing particularly on Northern England. I think that's probably about right, really. Could involve southern Scotland and Northern Ireland as well. So that's Monday evening, snow through North Wales, Northern England and the North Midlands. A little bit of snow coming a bit further south into other parts of the Midlands overnight from Monday into Tuesday as the low pressure clears out into the North Sea. Then we're into that run of northerly winds, they're bringing snow showers in with them. We might get a trough or a convergence line that bands those snow showers together. So, no, don't rule out a chance of some appreciable snow from those snow showers around the middle part of next week. We'll know a bit more about that in a few days' time. Thursday, we've got that low going into France. Just brings some snow into the far south of the M4. A little bit of a snow event going on there. Then we've got another low coming in on Friday into Saturday next week. That brings some very heavy snow in with it, but turns back to rain in the south and in the southwest as well. Then we keep it generally quite cold through the rest of the weekend. Further rain and snow gradually pushing up from the south. That's Monday the 25th, snow up to Scotland then, and milder with those southwesterly winds turning the snow back to rain further southwards. And then we go into the last days of November, looking wet in the south. But generally sitting at quite a cold and block setup, I think, into the closing days of the month. If you enjoyed the video, please do like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much, everyone, for doing that. Why not drop a comment, let us know what you think about this and all of our videos and content. Don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids. Get them to subscribe too. Thank you so much, everyone, for doing that. We need to put around 45 subscribers, just 4 or 5 subscribers to get ourselves to 19.1k. So if you could give us a sub, then please do so. Thanks so much, everyone, for doing that. Put on a lot of subscribers lately, so hello to all of our new subscribers. I hope you're enjoying the content. GM, again, northerly winds on Monday, low pressure out to the west, that low pressure coming in from the centre of the country Monday to Tuesday. Rain in the south, snow possible on the northern side of the low. The low heads out into the North Sea and Denmark on Wednesday, switches the wind around to a cold northerly. Cold northerly winds then are in through the rest of next week, and the GM is also keeping it cold through days 8, 9, 10. Check this out. We keep high pressure out to the northwest, winds generally coming from a northerly direction there. Up to day 10, 25th November, staying cold. Could we have a cold final week to the month? It's distinctly possible here on this model output, I think, today. ECM finally for chart data, bring that low pressure in from Monday into Tuesday from the centre of the country. I think we've more or less firmed up on the track of that low now, haven't we? It's like through the central sway from Northern Ireland, through Northern England, and then out into the North Sea. That seems to be the track that it's going to be taking. We'll know definitively, I would have thought, tomorrow, but that seems to be the track most of us have that low pressure on. By Wednesday, the low is over Denmark, and we got wind back into cold northerly, and we keep those cold northerly winds going then throughout next week, staying cold through the week into the final weekend of November. We've got this area of low pressure down towards the Azores, trying to push northwards into smarter air, but the ECM also keeping it cold up to day 10, with that high pressure blocking maintained in the North Atlantic and around Greenland, Iceland. Low pressure to the west of the of Iberia, of Spain and Portugal. And winds keeping coming from that north or northeasterly direction. So again, if we could roll on another couple of days, I expect we will probably still be keeping it cold there. That blocking out of high pressure around Greenland and Iceland looks pretty strong, I have to say. This is a precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from Precipitation.com. So in comes the wet weather through the weekend, Sunday, and then on into Monday as well. Heavy rain for England and Wales, snow for Northern Ireland, Northern England, just getting into the far south of Scotland. If that low pressure does get trending further south, then the snow risk will come southwards with it. But at the moment, it looks like Northern Ireland, Northern England, potentially, possibly, southern parts of Scotland. By the time that low pressure gets out into the North Sea on Tuesday, into the northerly wind with snow showers packing in. And, you know, again, we could see those snow showers banding up at times. We'll know more about that next week if we get a little trough or something. So we'll slow down into the far south there on the 23rd of November. And rain tried to push northwards by day 10, but to bring some snow into southern and southwestern regions, maybe. These are the options on the table within the ECM ensembles today for day 10 from the Icelandic Met-Ops. It gets us to the 25th of November. 31 members of the ECM ensembles with blocking around Greenland, low pressure through the north and west Europe. That looks generally still quite cold and windy, I think. And 20 with high pressure again blocking around Greenland. Low pressure is open to the east country, and again that will keep wind in for cold northerly or northeast direction. So both of the options look cold and wintry still, I think, at day 10 there. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. it gets us to the 30th of November, last day of the month. 29 members of the ECM ensembles looking milder or less cold anyway, bringing the low pressure in off the Atlantic and switching the wind around to the southwest. No, still a little bit of blocking though around Greenland, but much reduced and weakened. But then we've got 22 with high pressure to the south of Norway, and that's going to be mostly dry but probably cold, and winds will be coming in potentially from an easterly direction with that. So the majority option at 2 weeks out is to turn things milder, but there is a significant minority option to keep the cold going the right way to the end of November. We shall wait and see. Finally, CFS V2 for December, latest 700 millibar height anomaly, and CFS still rock solid on its idea of a mild December, with low pressure to the north, high pressure to the south, bringing the wind in from that west-southwesterly direction. So it's going for a substantially milder than average month, around 2 degrees above normal. And also it's going for, well, it seems to get a rather wetter month as well, as you'd expect with an Atlantic-driven westerly December. These charts change daily, but the CFS has been very consistent for days and days, weeks actually, on this idea of a westerly, mild Atlantic-driven December. So we'll wait and see, but you know, we'll just wait and see where it goes. We've got enough to go on with November, I think, because it does look as though the cold could well be extending out through that last week of the month rather than it turning milder. So, you know, let's just take it day by day and wait and see where things are going. Anyway, we're done. If you've enjoyed the video, please do like, share, and subscribe. Thanks so much to everyone for doing that. Drop a comment, let us know what you think about this and all of our videos and content. And don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids. Get them to subscribe to. Thank you so much for doing that. So, we're going to be back a little bit later on, I think, with the pub run at 10:30. I'll confirm that on the socials this evening. Over the weekend, we've got a lot coming up. 6 a.m. forecast tomorrow. ECM WF 42 there for the UK and Ireland. Weekend forecast will be quite an interesting one this week, I think. And a 10 to 14 there. And then on Sunday, 6 a.m. forecast, we have got the 12th winter update. I think it's update number 12, release at 10 a.m. And then we'll be live at 6 p.m. either discussing the winter update or maybe doing Snow Watch live. I'll confirm that on the socials, you know, over the weekend as well. But lots and lots to look forward to on the channel, so I shall see you around either one of our live streams or one of our uploads. You enjoy the rest of your Friday afternoon / evening. Maybe I'll see you a little bit later on with the pub run. But for this one, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.